Welcome into the Lantern Sports Roundtable. I'm your host, Casey Smith, and joining me as always is Paige, McBane, and Micah, Flack. Today we're going to be talking about the Ohio State and Michigan rivalry. First game back in the shoe, Micah, in 4 years. Coming off that 2018 game where Ohio State really relied on 6 passing touchdowns from Dwayne Haskins. Last season they lose for the first time in a decade. What are you looking forward to in this matchup?
Well, this will be a huge match again like last year. Michigan was able to win for the first time since 2011, and they were able to punch their ticket to Indianapolis in the Big Ten Championship. Now this year, all the cards are on the table. Everything is to play for again. Now this time, instead of being at Michigan Stadium and that crazy crowd in the snow, it will be at the shoe where Ohio State will have a bounce back and try to get their revenge this season.
Yeah, I've been talking with some local bar owners, all the coaches, the players, and I mean, it's just a festering sort of culmination of a year's worth of, preparation, anger, revenge on the mind, really. I mean, Paige, who are you looking forward to for Michigan and Ohio State to really show out in the game?
Yeah, so for Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, he's been putting up insane stats. He has 11 total touchdowns, 60 receptions, and 969 yards for the season. He's been able to really catch the ball in really hard conditions and always get those tough catches. And then for Michigan, Blake Corum, one of their running backs, also has insane stats. He has 17 touchdowns, 227 rushing attempts, 1,349 yards throughout the 2022 season, which is just ridiculous. So their running game is definitely amazing, and Michigan will definitely give Ohio State a run for their money.
Right. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr., as you mentioned, Fred Biletnikoff Award finalist upcoming, and then Blake Corum in the Heisman Trophy. He's in the conversation, Micah. What sort of impact do you see him having on this game and that Michigan run game for sure?
That will be huge for them. I mean, not just for Blake Corum, but Donovan Edwards, C.J. Stokes. It's such a deep backfield that Michigan has, but we got to talk about the guys up front who won the Joe Moorhead Award last year for the best offensive line in the nation. This year, they're even better this year. Blake Corum, last week against Nebraska, didn't even have a single rushing attempt that was over 12 yards, but still averaged 6 yards a carry. So Ohio State is going to have to be stout on the defensive front line there, and they're going to have to give Michigan some hard times running the ball.
Right, and Paige, do you think this game comes down to more how Ohio State's defense plays or how their offense plays?
I think it's definitely going to be a combination of both. I mean, we know that they have top 10 offense and defense in the country right now, and Michigan with number 1 defense in the country. So definitely it's going to be butting heads. I think Ohio State's issue with running the ball could give us a bit of a hard time, especially because Michigan is very, very good at running the ball. But also with Michigan's quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, having trouble with deep balls could also play into just the matchup there.
Yeah, for sure. And Micah, it seems like Michigan, they love coming out with sort of these rugby packages. And they ran the read option to perfection last year, even pulled out a little bit of a wildcat with Hassan Haskins in his 5-touchdown game. Do you see Michigan, do you really see them deviating from that game plan this year?
No, we know what Jim Harbaugh likes to do. He likes to run it down your throat. And if you can't stop them, then they're going to continue to do it. We saw that last year. Hassan Haskins had 5 touchdowns in Ann Arbor against Ohio State. This year, you have an even more dynamic running back in Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, who can pretty much line up in the receiver position if they need him to be. And then, of course, J.J. McCarthy can also run the ball. So this year, they're just going to continue to do what they do. But, of course, you want to be able to throw the ball as well. If your pass game can get some production, then your run game will be able to thrive.
Right. And, C.J. Stroud a season ago had just under 400 yards passing. Ohio State still loses that game by 2 scores. And, that's why you bring in Jim Knowles to really revamp the defense, get everything all in place schematically, and get the players to play at their maximum potential. This season is really shaping up for all cards in the middle of the table, forcing your hand all in. Am I right? Winner goes to the Big Ten Championship, and the winner of that game is going to the college football playoff. The loser of this game might still get in the college football playoff. So the stakes are as high as ever for November 26th, where it's shaping up to be a top 4 matchup between Ohio State and Michigan. This has been the Lantern Sports Roundtable, breaking that down. For Micah, Flack, and Paige McBane, I'm Casey Smith. Take care.